there's actually some statistical backing to what you're saying, right? Like we're like, again, and this is what the data says. Now it's up to you to believe that, right? Now the data does say that Asian guys are the lowest demographic being picked on dating apps.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that whole wording of. I'm truly against the wording of happy wife, happy life. My whole philosophy is happy king, happy kingdom.
Welcome back to the Telemon Podcast. This is your host, Shovu, and today we have my former co-host and my also good friend, Vahe, who is joining me on the podcast with our special guest, Nixon Vang from NV Life.
Hello. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Oh, thank you for coming on. So we're going to probably be just bullshitting, talking about certain things in the Hmong culture as well as the boys in our culture. And Nixon has a lot of things that he wants to talk about with mental health in the boys and health-wise as well. And relationships.
Yes.
Because that's what you actually specialize in.
Yep. So yeah, thanks again for having me on. My name is Nixon. I run the NV Life YouTube channel. I started about last year, and then I took a long break because I'm working on this really big project at the moment. So I'm really excited to get back on. And so again, thanks again for having me on. I know we spoke a little bit, so we're kind of on that same path, trying to kind of get certain messages out, and that's like my big thing too right now. So, and I love this topic, so happy to be jumping on there. And one of the things I specialize on and what I focus on in my channel is really dating relationships and helping with guys specifically. I help women too. It's just that what's a little bit louder and what needs more like help and impact is the guys. So that's my whole thing right now, and they tend to reach out a little bit more too. So
Gotcha. Yep.
So whatever topics we want to cover, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean, like when you say that they reach out more instead of the women's?
Well, like anytime you like jump on social media, you see more problems. I mean, people talk more about what's going on with guys and what their issues are in many areas. So most of the time, it's like, hey, why are our guys not doing this? Why are they not stepping up? Why are they not leveling up? All those types of things. That tends to be the typical types of things that we hear. And that audience, those particular guys, I mean, that doesn't help them. What usually happens is it hurts them more. Like it's harder for them to get up and do things.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to do my messaging a little bit differently because that's the way I am. I'm kind of like a little bit more like blunt about things. But what I'm realizing is everybody's in different places in their life. We've all been there, different spaces. Sometimes people need a little bit more help. Sometimes people need just a little bit of help. It's just everybody's in different spots in their life. And that's what I'm realizing now. And so, how do we get that message across is the key now. And I'm learning how to do that better. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you're telling me you're taking communications now.
Yeah.
Learning a little bit of communications.
Yeah. It's, cause I mean, I think we all need it. But especially guys need it a lot more, especially in this time.
I completely agree.
It's Father's Day. I didn't get anything.
What were you?
I don't know about you guys.
Were you being a good father though?
Yeah. Actually, my gift is coming.
Oh.
Sorry, wife. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to tell us.
No.
But, Nixon, let's talk about relationships, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
For a guy, if he is looking to date, because I know that a lot of guys probably that are watching, they probably don't have a significant a girlfriend, right? And what is the best thing to do to actually be able to get a girlfriend? What would you say?
Sure. I mean, I think that question, we're jumping like 2 levels, 2 steps.
Okay.
And so the reason why I say is because that's what everybody wants and says.
Right.
What they need to do though is focus on the basic foundations that get them there first, right? Like, so yeah, I wanted that, but getting there is the problem, right? And so what I mean by that is, are you communicating with people on a regular basis? Are you even having conversations with women? Are you even going into and saying hi to people? Those are like where we need to start. It's not, okay, it's going to happen tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. And so that's what I stress like, okay, you need to be communicating with people on a regular basis. Everybody, it's not just women, it's men and women, to kind of work that muscle.
Yeah.
So you guys, I know you guys are all into sports and you guys do like, martial arts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Imagine somebody coming up and like saying, I'm going to fight tomorrow.
Right.
I want a match.
Okay.
Right. But then they don't even have a jab. They don't have a hook. They don't have those basic things that you need, a foundation, right? Just basic footwork, So that's what's really happening right now, right? It's like we want this thing, but we don't have the basic fundamentals, which is, hey, you got to be work on your communication skills. Like those are really important, And so that's what I would say. I would say start there. Start, communicating on a regular basis. Now you're flexing that muscle.
Okay.
And then it becomes a little bit more easy to move to the next level, to the next step. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
it doesn't have to be just being around women. It can be around guys.
correct.
Just flexing the muscle as to talking.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the foundation. And then from there, now we get closer to that goal, right?
Right.
Now it's like, okay, we're having conversations now. The next level is how do we have connections that connect us with somebody? How do we have conversations that, build attraction? Those types of things, right? Because that's the things that, that's the hard part. And that's why people reach out, because then they want that level of, but they're always skipping the first part. And it's like, guys, it's not going to happen tomorrow. So start flexing a little bit, these muscles that we need.
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit more about if like appearance matter, the way you groom yourself matter, or like taking care of yourself? Or does it like build more confidence for you to be able to approach women? Or
Yeah. So those are just tools. So what you're talking about are just tools.
Yeah.
One thing is not going to give you everything. And so, and I really want to I want to stress this is really important, because we live in a time now where everybody thinks that I just need money, I'm going to get it. I just need to have muscles and I'm going to find a girl. And it's not that way, guys. Really? I've helped so many guys who have a lot of money. I've helped guys who are what most people call models. They can't do it. And because it's more than what you guys think. That's what I'm trying to get through to people, is like, there's something deeper. There's like 8 layers deeper that you have to tap into to get to that place. And that's where it matters, okay? So I'm not just scratching surface level stuff. That's what people like to think, that it's just, I have this, all my problems are solved. It doesn't work that way, right? And here's an example. If that was true, right? If you just needed to look good, then why is Will Smith having problems? Why does Ben Affleck have problems, right? It's deeper than this. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how good you look. It helps, gets you in the door, but it does not solve the problems that you're going to have in relationships.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what I deal with, is those. It's a really multifaceted. It's coming from 2 different angles. There's the dating aspect and there's the relationship aspect, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of what we have to solve depending on where you're at. Because guys in relationships, they have problems too. We just don't hear about it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
What have you faced with before?
what specifically?
Let's say Tokomo Talangona.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of things would you?
Well, I'll speak to the guys I help. The biggest challenges they have is dealing with rejection. That's it. That's the biggest one. And when you can get past that, when you can harden that muscle, it's really, really easy.
Okay.
That is the hardest thing, because nobody wants to. They hate that feeling.
Yeah.
And here's what I do to try to flip their mindset to get them to a better place. Is simply, if a woman rejects you or is not interested, you need to look at it from, that's a good thing that it happened, right? Because if you don't look at it from it was a good thing that happened, what's going to happen is many things. She could use you, like, oh, I don't like this guy, but I can just take advantage of him.
Yeah.
Dinner dates, pay for things like that, and then guy will happily do that because he's like, oh, damn, she's actually talking to me. Yeah. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And it's that's one aspect of it. But the other thing is just, it's a good thing because you want to find people that like you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a good thing that that happened, that interaction happened. It allows you to understand that, okay, I'm not going to be wasting my time now. I'm going to find somebody else that actually appreciates and values that time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's like usually the hardest thing that I encounter when I'm talking to people, because I could just tell right away, like, oh, like you're not even trying. You're not even out there doing the first thing we talked about, which is what? Are you going out there and talking to 20 people a day? Are you like saying hi? I guarantee you, they're not doing that. Guarantee you.
Oh yeah, engagement
Right.
is pretty much it.
Right. So.
I think they just. Oh, sorry, sure.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that before they approach a woman, they just need to know that, like, it's okay if she don't like you. I mean, she reject you. You just gotta learn to like. It's kind of like muscle memory, like you were saying, like how Shore does martial arts and I do martial arts. You just keep doing it until like you're used to it. You know,
Correct.
rejection. It's like it's kind of like don't be so judgmental. You know. And then it's not the end of the world, even if you get rejected, you know? So you just kind of got to get used to that. Getting your ass kicked during training and sparring, and then you come back and you just try to figure it out.
Right.
How to approach them, how to make it work, you know?
And here's the thing that I'm going to add to what you're saying is this. It's a very, very difficult thing. Like we talk about it very, like it's easy to do. Like you just keep trying it, it's going to get better. But I mean, they already did studies on this, you know, and they talk about what are the hardest things in life is like public speaking, you know, that's like top 2, 3.
Yeah.
And I would put public speaking as the same thing as just having conversations with strangers.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, you know? And so, you know, we're trying to, well, when I speak, I'm saying like, hey, you know, this really difficult thing, make it easy. Well, I'm saying that because I understand the plight, how difficult it is. But at the same time, I understand that the only way to overcome it is how we're speaking about it right now, which is you're saying. It requires us to, you know, to be uncomfortable, you know, to develop, you know, and it's going to suck, but I promise you guys, it gets better if you do that, you know, and that's the thing that people will never get to that point. You know, and another example is imagine you're going to the gym every day. You know, you're working on your jab, you're working on your hook. You know, and you as someone who's seasoned, who's done it many times, you can tell the technique is maybe off a little bit, right? And so they won't know that until they do enough reps. You know, until you do enough reps, you get to understand that it's not efficient. There's a problem with it. You know, you can point that out. You know, and so. All you can do is encourage them to keep trying, fix certain things. And that's kind of what I do. You know, it's like, okay, you got to do the basics first. And then from there, we got to tighten it up, make it more efficient, make it more a sharper technique. That's kind of like how I approach it and how I help with that.
Would you recommend someone to like fake themselves to kind of get a girl or in a relation?
Explain that to me more.
Like Gucci Munya, cú là một flash like that cú một munya na, or yo cú cú yo itu cú tự chỉ cho lòng ngô thả là cú nhà mua act like cú tự cho là thả na.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Or even kind of like a
You make me miss Devin.
oh shit.
I don't know who he is, but he seems like a good guy.
Good guy.
But yeah, faking it.
No, so it's like fake it to make it. I get it. Yeah. The first part being that you said something about like flashing and all that stuff. No, you don't need to do that. Again, it goes back to all you need to do is be out there trying, doing it. You know, there's, to your point, there's some aspect of, and this is anything in life, there's some aspect of internal like belief, right? You have to believe it, you know what I'm saying, before it can even happen, you know? And then the second part of that is external, like kind of validation almost. Like you kind of, because there's one aspect, like for example, let's say that guy, he's horrible with women, but he believes he's really good, right? At some point, he's gonna have to have some kind of realization or self-reflection to be like, oh damn, I'm not getting the results I want. So what's happening, you know? And so you have to realize like, am I doing what I need to be doing? And then if you're smart, you know, and you have a lot of grit, you figure out that there's something missing and I need to find out what that is. Faking it to make it, there's something to that. Yeah, I get it. I just don't know if that's gonna be the thing. My whole philosophy is keep trying until you get it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like you keep trying until you get it. You don't have to fake it. You know, you're just doing it until you figure it out. You know,
Right.
But you have to have that grit. You have to have that ability to not quit. And that's the thing. That's the thing that's it's the hardest part.
So, what are we talking about though? Like, are we talking about like looking for true love and faking it, or are we talking about like a one night stand trying to get the women at the bar? What are we talking about
I guess
here?
it depends.
I guess what I would say is
What
it
are
doesn't
we
matter
talking
what it
about?
is. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. The same thing applies.
Right.
So
you know,
fake it till you make it. Then.
Even if it was, it doesn't matter if it's what your goal is. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't say make it to me. I'm saying attempt, because you guys, you know, what we have to be aware of is it's easy to say it, you know, but I mean, telling you guys, it's really hard for people to attempt to do things, you know.
Yeah, it's just like going to the gym. right? I gotta attempt going to the gym, really going there, but I can't fake like, oh, hey, I'm at the gym, and then going home right after that
Right.
shit, you know?
Yeah.
That's why you need a personal trainer. You know, I'm also a personal trainer, guys. So hit me up.
Yeah.
If you're already in shape, like I can help you out get a good workout. Or if you're out of shape, and that might help you with your appearance too.
Where are you personally training?
I'm located in Brooklyn Park, and I'm a personal trainer there. I'm a master of personal training. So that means that as a master personal trainer, I'm diverse in like strength training and nutrition, and also helping with weight loss. You know, I help with a lot of different fields.
And is that LA Fitness or?
Yep, Ella Fitness in
Okay.
Brooklyn Park.
All right.
So yeah.
Yeah, there was our little commercial.
So if you talk to Nixon about how to approach women, maybe I can help with the confidence a little bit.
Performance too.
Yeah, performance too.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, working out, it's always been throughout humanity. It's like you have to, you know, work on yourself. It builds confidence in other areas of your life. That's why, you know, you have to focus on your health and things like that. But yeah, I was just thinking about the thing that you mentioned though, which is, you know, all this stuff that we're talking about is all related to, you know, it's like, I love using gym analogies. I love using sports analogies
Yeah,
because they're all the same thing. It's
yeah.
the same application, you know, and no matter what it is you're doing, you know. So yeah, we can use those all day today, guys. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sports.
Do you think that we, as Sydney Monga, we don't get much girls because Baya Monga? Do you
Short?
think maybe it's the height? Maybe
Okay.
What is it that the ladies are looking for?
Can I say something before you answer that?
Sure, go ahead.
You know, I heard that nowadays the game has changed so much. Even though we talk about how like it's not about money and height, but what I heard recently from like the younger people, maybe not our generation, but younger, like maybe like 29 or 30 under, they say it's all about height and money. So I want you to really, you answered that already, but from what younger people height, so
Yeah.
No, I'll break that down again because it's important. I mean, say your question one more time.
yeah, sorry.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
Do you think that it's because Baya Monga, we're not
Asians,
really?
okay.
It could even be culture, maybe.
Sure.
Or short, height.
So I want to spin this a little bit differently so we can reframe it. And I think that's important because, gosh, it is so easy. It is so easy to just be like, oh man, Asian people, we're short. So I guess that's, you know, it sucks for me, right? It's easy to do that, right?
Okay.
But let me offer a different kind of perspective, right? Which is, it's your mindset, right? It's your mindset. It's your lack of, you know, actually trying. It's all those things that, you know, why you believe that, right? And there's actually some statistical backing to what you're saying, right? Like we're like, again, and this is what the data says. Now it's up to you to believe that, right? Now the data does say that, you know, Asian guys are the lowest demographic being picked on dating apps.
Yeah.
But how do you want to deal with that? Because to me, that's just information, right? That just tells me, okay,
Really?
seems like, yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Less desirable.
That's what they say. But it seems like, why is it that they would think that way? And then I think, okay, all right. Do I want to fall into that fallacy, that mindset? Because it's easy to do that. And that's what a lot of guys are doing. And so I want to offer a different perspective, which is, guys, I've dated plenty of 6-foot women. I've dated plenty of people not Hmong. I don't imagine if I walked in there with that mindset, right? How she would view you and me, or if I go in that mindset thinking, damn, man, guys, I'm short. I don't know if she's gonna like me, right? Like, no, if you lead with that, yeah, more than likely that's gonna be a problem. But if you lead differently with like, hey, you know what? I'm just trying to have a good time, just trying to get to know you, see if you know what kind of chemistry we might have, those types of ideas. I'll take it even a step further, and this is what I really try to tell guys that think like this helps them a little bit better is, you know, how do you? I always look at a woman how they bring value to my life, right? And the reason why I always stress that is because what usually happens is when, you know, guys are meeting girls, they're trying to fit into that woman's life, and that's the problem, and that's where a lot of problems come, you know, from. And so, yeah, I don't believe in that whole wording of. I'm truly against the wording of happy wife, happy life. My whole philosophy is happy king, happy kingdom, and that's shows, and this is the right mindset, the right frame of mindset to have. You know, any woman I've talked to and I've spoken to lots, they don't, you know, they want to look up to somebody. You know, they don't want you to be looking up to them. You know, and when you do that, you're working from behind, and it's just a matter of time before things, you know, deteriorate. And I know that from personal experience. I don't say this because I'm just like making up. I mean, I've gone through those whole experience my whole life. So, you know, I know now.
Just say it, Nixon. We want sex.
We do. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying though is after that, what is there?
Right.
That's what I'm.
What
that's
does the woman
right.
have to offer right,
Exactly.
after that?
Correct. And so that's what we need to start thinking is a little bit more 3-dimensional, not 1-dimensional, where it's like that, you know, surface level stuff. And I challenge guys to do that because they're not doing that enough. If they were, I would not be having these conversations with women and men. You know, women are complaining that that's the issue. You know, men are, they're not doing that. And so they're having issues. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So again, I wish it was just one answer, guys. It's not. It's just it's layers of things. And so what I end up usually doing, right? We start off with dating relationships when we have conversations, but the underlying issue is never that, guys. It's you. You're not there yet, masculinity wise. Mentally, you're not there yet. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe in yourself. You don't really love yourself like that yet. Because people who really truly love themselves, they don't have that issue of, you know, understanding that, hey, I'm trying to find things that kind of complement my life. You know, that's the difference. And that's what we're missing right now. When we talk about not just the Monk community, but really everybody right now, you know. I mean, I can throw stats left and right about what's happening and why I even got into this is because of all these things I'm seeing, you know, but that's just, again, one of the many things that's the problem. So
Interesting.
Well, I noticed that you're like bald. And then, like, do you think that being bald is a masculinity too? Because it doesn't matter, the bald girl, woman, you know,
Yeah.
again,
look at Andrew Tate, dude. And then that guy, he's like so masculine. Like, you guys heard of the situation, like.
again, see, we're going back to the looks thing, right?
Yeah.
And what I would say is, you know, yeah, if you,
Come on, it matters. Somehow, somewhere, it matters.
I would look at it more like this. I would look at it more like, oh, sorry, I'm too far away.
That's okay.
I would look at it more like you need to be going out there finding the people that like bald guys. You know, if maybe that's you know. Sure. But I would add one more thing to it, which is most of the time girls don't even know what they like until it's in front of them. Which is to say, you're just not. If you're bald, then you're worried about it, right? You're just not showing up in a way that's attractive enough, right? Think about it that way. I don't go around thinking like I'm self-conscious, you know. I used to, like anything, but I don't go around with that mindset. I go around with the, God damn, they're lucky as hell to have a conversation with me right now. Does that make sense? You know, like how you're thinking about things? Like, I don't have those things. And more than like 8 out of 10 times, guys, it's like they're happy to have a conversation with me. It's because it's more than just looks. And so we need to stop. We need to get away from this mindset that it's just all looks. It's just one tool. It can help you, but there's many other things. And so one of the things that I love talking about with guys, because they always don't understand the concept of attractiveness. Attractiveness is not one thing, guys. It's not all physical. You can be attractive in how you speak, how you show up, how you solve problems. All of these things are what creates attraction. It's not just one thing. So once you get away from that idea that it's just all physical, you start seeing other layers, you know? And so, I mean, I could share stories all day about, you know.
Let's talk about the type of women that like are really beautiful, and then like guys are so afraid to approach them, but really nobody really approached them. They do want conversation.
Facts.
What about that?
Oh,
let's talk about that.
Let's take a break and then
yeah.
we'll come back. Okay. So stay on that topic.
Okay.
So remember your question, and then we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back, audience. All right.
All right.